Movie Squad, we're back again.
All right. Hopefully you didn't hear all that negativity that went on behind the scenes. But Movie Squad is back again, once again we have an empty chair here with the Fantastic Four, and we're joined once again by the person who commonly fills it, our man Andrew Sadal. How you doing, Andrew?
Right. You're like a main squad member now. You come in more than everyone else.
I mean, he has thumbnail pics, so basically is
1+1 and everything. You're like Herbie. Remember Herbie in the cartoon? Fantastic
More like the
cartoon?
Spidey. He'll sort of drop in every so often when the Human Torch isn't there.
There we go. Okay, Spidey.
Okay.
Nice one. So I'm Chase Johnson Lynch. This is once again with his arms written on all over the place.
Actually, some drunk girl asked, can she write her autograph on me?
You sure?
She got like 4. She got SH, but the rest is unreadable.
Yeah.
So her name is Sharon.
Has written on James Jump is on. Welcome,
Hello.
James Jump. What's his favorite band that he wants to promote?
The Lathams, I love them. Please stream them.
Love them. Yes, they signed his Pokemon card. But then we also have the lovely Sinead,
Hey.
always lovely and always happy.
No one's writing on me.
Yeah, not today. And you know what I mean? But as you can see in our poster art, because we got poster art now, we're looking at Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And like we're doing our best, as Blake would like us to do, not make this a really long podcast because it's a really long movie. But this is our second Tarantino venture, isn't it?
Actually, it is because I done it on Cinema Snaps.
Well, yeah, okay, that would make it our third one. But meaning Movie Squad had covered Pulp Fiction, and everything. So we had early Tarantino, and now this is the last or the latest Tarantino effort. But, I mean, look at that cast behind us. I mean, Brad Pitt, Leonardo. Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, wasn't he there? That's why he's in the movie.
Jeff Bridges is not in this movie.
He's not, is he?
You're fired.
Oh dear. I hope Lipper didn't see that.
Cut this. I might.
Kurt Russell
Pitt.
is.
Kurt Russell, that's it. No.
Yeah,
Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, Kurt Russell, who was a replacement. Remember there was another actor that was supposed to be in Death Proof, and then he got Kurt Russell to fill in and everything like that. I think it was Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rourke was initially supposed to be in Death Proof.
That would have been interesting to see.
And then when Kurt Russell took over, Kurt Russell, he's now like Leonardo. He's in Hateful Eight, and he's also playing a small part here.
I think the great part about Tarantino, I think if you compare it to the Pulp Fiction one to this, he's done so much here. You've got like a Django Unchained, there's more gruesome, tail, past stuff.
Always gruesome, every movie.
It's always gruesome. This is one trait and feat. But it's nice to see something more laid back and slowed from Tarantino.
Yeah. No. I mean, but he also has well known in saying that this is his love of his childhood in Hollywood, right? Like all the streets. I mean, what's fantastic is the art direction here. All the streets are, and the theaters and the locales are all as they were. It's littered at that time.
With Easter eggs from that time.
Yeah.
The amount.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, what was your first initial reactions, Sinead, to this film? I mean, it's a long one, but your first initial reaction.
There wasn't much. I mean, there was a plot, but not much of one. It was more like a presentation, I think, of like Hollywood in the 60s. Yeah, and I enjoyed it, but it was like I don't really know how to explain it. I can't put a word on it, to be honest. It was just I think presentation is the best thing I can come up with because that's what it was. I
think when we do these films, especially older films, even though this one is new, but it's kind of set in an older time, is that it's a lot of it is like first time reactions for you guys.
Yeah.
But like for me, this is not just classic Hollywood, but this is my childhood, like Tarantino, where like the TV shows that he is paying homage to are like classics like Steve McQueen and Wanted Dead or Alive is Bounty Law. That's Bounty Law. And even what was the show he was on when he had the handlebar mustache? Laredo or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I don't think it was Laredo, but it was based on another series that was going on at the time. So the authenticity of the look and the feel of television, Hollywood television, was really there all the way down to them hanging out in Spawn Ranch, which was a famous ranch at the time, and it's still around. But
cool.
it was where they did all the cowboy movies. So like Hollywood was like a machine.
Yeah.
And like, you know, like
Pump 'em out.
every director had to like, you know, they had like 5 days to pull out like whether it was an episode or a film. So they would shoot in Spawn Ranch because they had all those hills and the horses, and it made everything look authentic Western. You know, did any of you grow up on Westerns, Andrew?
Good, the Bad, the
really.
Ugly. There was a lot of TV shows. Man, I used to watch on it all. I'm very familiar with it all. And
Yeah,
it's
because
very
we
authentic.
often talk about your dad here, James. You know, so I mean, like, I'm pretty sure, you know, like he's like loves himself a good Western, because that was pretty much all we had, like in the 70s. It was like about 10 or 20 Westerns on.
It's sad to see the decline of Westerns, though, in modern cinema. Like, there's not many out these days.
Yeah.
Cowboys versus aliens.
Cowboys versus aliens.
Well, it's kind of like we got to do something.
I think
Indians, not a good thing.
what I love
Aliens. Good thing.
Modern Westerns. No Country for Old Men. That's my favourite modern Western.
Well, yeah.
But back to what the movie is. I think this is just an exciting thing Tarantino wanted to explore because he's doing his 10 movies. It's something you have to check out. That like the time period, it's so like pivotal and such a cool thing to do, and have it to include the Sharon Tate murders, but have a spin on it.
The revisionist touch came from Inglourious Bastards.
Literally, so personally, I think this is one of my favorite Tarantino movies of all time, alongside Django Unchained. And what they done with this movie was so unexpected of how it was presented, all the Easter eggs in it, Cliff, Brandy, the dog. It was amazing.
Yeah,
I love it.
The hippie commune weird thing, that was weird.
And I think
also a common thing, if you just walking down the street of Melrose or whatever, there were a bunch of hippies out there, but these hippies were all supposedly tied with the Manson family.
Another thing what I loved was how the Manson family plot wasn't the main plot, and we saw it build from the side. We were just focused on Cliff's life. It's going downhill, this, that. Stuntman finished up. And finally we see it pay off, coming to the main story, but in like we expected violence at the end. But that violence, I remember like first watching it.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah. I mean, what about you, Andrew? Did you do any like background info on this film?
After the movie, yes. I watched it. I've heard of the Manson family. I've heard of the Manson murders. And all. Didn't know anything about it. So throughout the entire movie, I was thinking, what on earth is Margot Robbie actually in this movie for? Because it just keeps cutting away.
Yeah.
And then they completely ignore it. So she had absolutely no reason to be in the movie. So I kept wondering, like, why was she even in there?
Well,
because she's Margot Robbie, that's why.
Well, that's why.
And they wanted her feet on the seat.
Yeah. We'll get to Margot's feet, but I mean, it is true, because like when she did The Big Short, she didn't really have any dialogue, or what was it, Wolf of Wall Street? You know, she didn't really have any dialogue. She's one of those actresses that, hey man, just put her in the film, give her some clothes. You know what I mean? It seems that I mean, because when she's on the screen, you're riveted. You can't help it. You know what I mean?
Bonk.
Come on.
I think the movie. So it opens up. So he sees he's got this shitty career. It's going downhill. There's not.
It's not. I mean, yeah. I mean, like Leonardo's character is kind of like one of many. You know, it's kind of like, you know, if you look at that time, there were so many detectives or Western heroes or whatever, and so he wasn't like number 3, but he was kind of like you know, number 7.
Yeah.
You know, if you think about Burt Reynolds, when he became famous for those action films with Hal Needham, right? You know, like Hooper and Smoking the Bandit. But when he was Dan August, you know, or he was playing an Indian in some show. Oh God. But yeah, so it was kind of like, this guy's got something, but we don't know what it is. And that's what was cool about Al Pacino's character coming in going, there's something about you. There's something about you. Very over the top, Al Pacino.
I love the idea of rock bottom being spaghetti westerns. Yeah, like literally.
Yeah.
It's funny though, man. It's funny because, I mean, if you know the Clint Eastwood story, you know, this could have been very much Clint Eastwood. It was Steve McQueen and amalgam of Steve McQueen and Clint Eastwood, where he was playing Rawhide, or the show Rawhide, and everything like that. And he wanted to be, something about him, wanted to be famous. And he famously went off to Italy to make Fistful of Dollars. Nobody had done that because it's kind of like, as Americans, we don't need to go to Italy. What the hell for? You don't care about like
after
filmmakers
2 world
over
wars,
there.
after the stigma of it all, after all this, it's like
Those damn
would you
Italians.
really
But
go there?
you said you saw Good and Bad and the Ugly, which was the third adventure for Clint Eastwood out there. But Fistful of Dollars and For a Few Dollars More, classic. Did you please, Andrew, say you know it? Fistful of Dollars and all that. Yeah. So those were Italian westerns. They couldn't understand each other, but he had that face.
I think we need
Let me just look at your face.
I think we need to do an Italian Western. Drop in the comments which one we should do. That'd be very cool.
That would be great,
Please.
man,
Very
because
cool.
this is the whole thing. So, yeah, so Leonardo, he's at his like wit's end. He's on Bounty Law. I think it was been on for a couple of seasons and everything else like that. And we start out with an interview, like a TV interview, where his sidekick, not his sidekick, his stuntman,
double.
they allow his stuntman to be in the shot with him. They say, "Hey, you guys look alike." They look nothing alike.
Yeah, I love that. It's just so you can.
No,
have
you're
Brad,
not seeing double.
It's just so you can get Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio in the same film.
Yeah, but it's kind of like, yeah, he's supposed to be me. Sure, okay. But did you notice the stutter that Leonardo gave himself?
No.
Did anybody? Like that was it was a key thing. That,
I mean, there was an accent. Like,
I'm finished, buddy.
He had it, like when he wasn't it's like my stutter. When he wasn't on camera, he was stutter. Like in the scenes in the and when he was rehearsing his lines and everything, and he talked about it and stuff like that. Yes, but it was just a real interesting thing that he had foibles. But it was like, this guy is great. He's got this look, and we want him and everything. So that's where he goes to this Musso and Frank's to meet with Al Pacino. So Brad follows along because he's like his driver. He's like his Green Hornet Mikado.
Because his car's in the shop.
Yeah, of course it is.
Did anyone else find it annoying, like the used narration in the beginning, and they just completely fucking forgot about it?
The what?
yeah, and then it comes back like at the end.
It's
The
like
what?
using narration.
Narration.
It was very like scattered. Like some things could have been explained easier by narration, but they used it twice. I'm not sure.
And it would have been more like a story. I mean, it's like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It would have been more like a story, book kind of thing.
It just seemed a bit real weird for me. No, but moving on, we see his other movies. The one where it's like the Inglourious Bastards type, the Nazi flamethrower.
What
it's
is
a setup for the
Tarantino's
end,
thing with
isn't it?
Nazis and feet? Nazi fees.
He's a straight white male incel. What did you expect?
Oh.
Ooh.
Is that why he made a film that like surrounds Polanski, who is a child rapist?
Oh, we're
Who
not going
fled
down
to
that
France
road. I
and
would like to
hasn't
go
come
down
back.
the road that
We're not going that.
Tarantino is half Cherokee.
Keep the can of beans closed.
No?
Matt's not here to open them.
I like to go down the road that Tarantino is half Cherokee, and yeah, and everything like that, and that's why he has that weird head.
Has anyone seen that clip of this gal goes up to him saying, "Could you sign my feet?" And he goes, "Sure, darling," and just signs his face.
Yeah.
All right, let's stay away from the weird stuff, right?
We're talking about Tarantino and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
We'll talk about his feet when we get to Margot Robbie. Going like boots are made for walking. That whole Nancy Sinatra shot of her walking through
Perfect
town.
song choice, though. Perfect song
Yeah.
choice.
But then also was like I'm jumping ahead. So anyway, so Leonardo gets this offer. He doesn't know what to do about it. But then they also offer him another part in this, I believe it's Laredo. You can always correct me and everything. But what's interesting about it is the director, right? So Andrew, please tell me you know who the director of that Cowboy where he had to play the bad guy is. You're gonna hit me. You don't know?
Nope.
Nicholas Hammond. Who is Nicholas Hammond?
Oh,
The
no.
first Spider-Man. 1976, the first Spider-Man.
Oh.
Okay, it came over here as a movie for you youngins.
Is this
But
what?
the first Spider-Man, the TV series,
Yeah.
right, was played. The first Peter Parker was Nicholas Hammond, who also was one of the kids from The Sound of Music.
That's cool.
Right,
That's adorable.
but Tarantino is famous for bringing back the old guns, isn't he? And so the director of that piece was Nicholas Hammond. So that scene, like where Leonardo is like trying to wash his face in ice, and everything. They're trying to figure out what kind of mustache he should have and everything like that. That was Nicholas Hammond. He's like, yeah, I want you to give to me. I want you to do all that kind of stuff. That really creepy guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So is
but
this
that
where-
was Nicholas
The
Hammond.
wife that was British.
Is this where the director says now, I don't want him on my set? Was that later on?
It's the same guy.
About a stunt double.
He was saying like, oh, he doesn't want the stunt double to work because he's a wife.
Murdered his wife.
Yeah.
And got away with it.
Yeah. That was that. Yeah. That was the whole what's his name? Kurt Russell and Zoe Bell and the scenario. But anyway, moving on. So Leonardo asks, he's like, I would, get you onto this job, but you had that problem. With the killing the wife thing. And, the guy's wife is not really happy with you on that. But then he does convince Kurt Russell to, give him a gig.
Yeah.
Right? So then it's like, which is kind of like that awkward scene, right? Because he's like, I don't know, I want him. And then he comes out and then Brad Pitt's just sitting there, and everything like that. So like he says, go to wardrobe. And this is where we get the whole big Bruce Lee sequence.
Oh my God.
Now, who's heard about Tarantino's version of the Bruce Lee sequence?
No. What was it?
No, because a lot of people was like, come on, there's no way this guy, no way he could beat up Bruce Lee. Seriously. And Tarantino's like, what? He's just a guy. Right?
I do kind of respect Tarantino for that. He's like, if I can make sure Sharon Tate doesn't die, I can make Bruce Lee into a...
Yeah. I mean, he threw him into a car. You know what I mean?
The way he threw him into it, he went, did you see the anomaly during the fight? In the beginning, there's a blue car. It cuts to a shot. The car's gone. Then when it comes back, the car's back.
I didn't see that,
kind of like the Commando thing where because they bent the car and then it's like maybe they shot it out of sequence.
Yeah, but it wasn't in shot. So
wow.
they kind of...
I did not see that, but that would be interesting. Because
very Hollywood of them.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I loved it the way you just expected to get his arse handed to him, but Brad Pitt, he grabs him and just goes, whoosh, throws him over.
Yeah, now the way Tarantino explains that, right? Because Joe Rogan naturally, was like upset too. But the way Tarantino explains it is like, you got to understand, right? Cliff has a way of doing things. So what he does is he would give his opponent the first punch so that way he can see what the move is. Right, and so first punch, Bruce Lee, kicks him and then knocks him down, and then he gets up, and then he knows what he's going to do now, and then he would mostly assume that the person is going to repeat the move, which Bruce did. So when Bruce repeated the move on him, that's how he was able to catch his foot because he knew where his foot was going, and then throw him in the car. So it doesn't make him better than Bruce Lee. It just means that he had a method, and so when Tarantino was trying to explain that, most people just like. That's that man, Bruce Lee.
So
Mexico, I
want everyone's opinion on this now. Do you think he killed his wife?
I have no idea.
Do you think he killed his wife?
They don't come back to it.
Brad Pitt. They only went to the scene.
Yeah, I know what you mean. When they're on the boat and she's like, "Oh, you don't want to fight? I've been on this boat for and then nothing comes of it ever again.
Do you think he killed his wife?
What I like about it is the outfit he was wearing was like Gavilan, right? This actor, this show, and he was like that. Anyway, I think he did.
I don't think he did. I think it was just, I think they either got divorced, something bad.
It was an accident. I don't think he I'm going to kill you now.
No, but we see him being violent. I think the point of it was, we see him being violent throughout the whole film.
Yeah.
So he probably has killed his wife, and it's kind of like that idea of in Hollywood it's all smoke and mirrors. So obviously it's the 60s. So obviously the women are kind of getting a bit angry now. So obviously the director's wife is very much like, yeah, he's a fucking...
It's also before women's lib.
Literally, and he's like, oh, he killed his wife. How could you work with him? And it's like, baby, oh, come on. You know what I mean? But I think it is very much if you had celeb status or you were wealthy in Hollywood, then you could pretty much get away with murder, and which he did. And they probably do at the end.
It is very easy. And in that 1969 to get away with murder, especially in America with
there was no fingerprints or anything.
You could do anything back then.
It's as long as you're on my front lawn, I can legally kill you, kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't want to be on your lawn. Then I mean,
I don't have one. I live in a flat.
The child method actor. We see her. She's reading their lines.
Oh my god, I don't know the girl's name, but it was fantastic. That scene.
She's a very good actor.
I think she was actually 8 or 9 in real life.
So let's ask you this, Sinead, actress on the panel. What did you think of that scene where the child actress and Leonardo and stuff not the one where he actually performed the scene?
I know what you're on about. When he's like, oh, can I read next to you? And she's like, I don't see why not. Yeah, it's quite funny because it is kind of like it is kind of like a reflection of like the new age of acting, and it's like, you know, acting isn't, you know, it's like, oh, she's like Youngblood, she's like the new generation of it, so she's very much like, oh no, acting's a very serious thing, you must refer to me as my character when I'm on set.
Method
acting,
yeah.
Stanislavski, because obviously
not Stanislavski. What if?
Because I know, and then like obviously when you're going into the 60s, into the 70s, that's when people like Meisner started to become a thing.
Yeah.
So it is kind of like, yeah, oh yeah, I have to put into practice. And also that kind of little element of like, you know, I'm a young woman actress, and like already we see like she's very like, she's already a feminist at 8 years old. I think so
he's like, how old are you?
I think she's also there to almost like reflect what child actors were like back in them days. If you remember the Alice in Wonderland, do you remember the Alice in Wonderland set? What happened there to the actress as she got abused a lot on set. They starved her. They gave them a lot of fake shoots.
So did Thingy in The Wizard of Oz.
Yes,
like
so it's a lot of corruption. I think it just kind of.
I thought you were leading to how adult they were making child actors.
Highlights,
yeah.
And for example, it'll highlight how she's doing it in this role, and in 10 years' time, she'll be corrupt. She'll be something wrong with her.
She'll be nobody.
She'll be a nobody because they'll throw her away. With most child actors happen these days. So of Macaulay Culkin, so of a lot of older actors.
Yeah.
Was it Judy Garland or someone who the child actress from
Wizard of Oz?
Yes.
Yeah. She was getting sexually assaulted by like the people.
Drug overdose, tried to make a career comeback, died.
Keep it going. They would ignore the labor laws, like you can only work 10 hours.
Because you got to remember we had the Hays Code back then, which is still probably in effect till around the late 70s. So you can start doing a little bit more. So it really like reflects that.
Well, you are big brain on Brad.
It's a fun episode, this one, isn't it?
well, no, but we like to be informative, and I love it when James brings up the Hays Code. But so let's go from that scene to the actual scene, because oh my God, I just thought this was a tour de force for Leo, where, you know, like they're playing out the scene and it's playing, and you know, okay, this is the scene going on. But then when he stops, when he cuts up and he goes, fine. You know,
it's like,
I mean, oh man, and this is like, bro, I just keep going, damn it, no, let me do it.
I saw Scream.
And he psychs himself up. It was just like, what?
I saw Scream Rant say that if you've seen any like old Western TV shows, the acting was nowhere good as this.
Oh well, no, it definitely wasn't. But I mean, but that's what was just so really good about this. It was so in your face, and it was hardcore because, like, especially like when he had to go back to the trailer, and he's just like, you know, just so disappointed in himself.
You kind of feel bad.
And that's when the stutter came out even more, you know. But he's like, you got to do it.
You're an alcoholic.
Yeah.
8 whiskey sours. I could have stopped at 3 or 4, but no, I had to have 8.
Yeah.
You kind of feel for him the way he's like losing his, like he's the second-rate villain. Is it in this scene?
Yeah, because this is the point. They and Pacino would explain it to him. It's like they would take lead actors from a show, and then what they would do is they would try to like bring them down. He wouldn't say like emasculate them, but he was trying to bring them down. So they would turn them into villains and everything on other shows. And so like he would be like playing these villain roles, which was why it was so important for him to be offered a hero again to go off to Italy. So when you say that there's no story, there was the actual kind of like a story to Leo's journey in all of that. But, you know, that I just thought little things like that is just fascinating. But then also, too, is let's just say a sad lament for Luke Perry from Beverly Hills 90210. You might have not recognized him, but he played the brother who comes in, right, to get the girl that Leo is holding hostage, and he was supposed to be her brother and everything. But that was Luke Perry, who died during the making of the film. Oh, you know, I mean, he only had this one scene, but, you know, like, he died. So he never got to see, like, the role. So that's why I was just saying sad lament for Luke Perry.
Let's skip forward to the scene where they go to the ranch, visit his friend. Brad Pitt goes to visit his friend in the ranch. Yeah. He's giving, what's her name, baby?
Pussy.
Pussy doll.
Pussycat
a lift home.
Well, yeah. So he's seen her like once or twice on the street as a hippie and everything. And like you might have blinked and missed her, but Kevin Smith's daughter, Harley Quinn, and it was one of the girls as well and everything like that. But so finally she sees him and he sees her and he's alone. So she's like, you know, give me a ride. and everything, and he gives her a ride.
Do you want me to suck your dick while driving? How old are you?
To be,
I mean, I'm old enough to fuck you, but you're too old to fuck me.
and then we were demonetized.
Oh well.
Like we make money off this. He's lying.
But yes.
Heavy.
But it was a weird conversation because he was kind of like, let me see your driver's license or whatever it is. Like,
I'm not going to jail for poo-tang.
Well, no, I get you, bruv, but I don't know if that's a conversation you would have at that moment in time.
To be fair, you don't want to catch a case.
Literally.
So I want to like massive props Tarantino. The way he does this scene to provide the tension of when they go to the ranch, is his friend dead? It is so on your seat, suspenseful with the camera, the canted angles, the long shots, the long takes, the color grading, the way they position the characters.
Also, the way the girls appeared, they appeared kind of like the children of the damned.
Yeah, it was very creepy.
Yeah,
it's
so
like a Midsummer
spooky.
vibe or something, and you're like, oh, we're gonna find him. He's gonna be dead because you got to remember this character isn't real, so has nothing to do with significant history. So
there was a guy who owned Spawn Ranch.
No, I mean Brad Pitt's character. So if he dies, there's not really he lived in this.
Yeah.
We go there and thinking, oh my god, we're gonna find a body. He's gonna have to fight something. You get there.
No,
Fights way out,
you also have to. I mean, we skipped over things, but that's cool. You also have to think that Brad Pitt is like a walking superhero. Like when he goes to fix Leo's, he goes to fix Leo's antenna. He jumps up on that building like Spider-Man.
Shirtless.
You know what I mean? He has 2 6-packs in his holster. But I'm just trying to say it so we know that this guy is cool. He beat up Bruce Lee. By the time he gets to Small Ranch. So, like, he has the attitude of a hero, and he walks through that town like, I don't care about any yet.
Literally.
And everything. Now, they only had, like, 2 guys. Like, Tex was also one of the main guys from, Manson. I don't know who that guy he beat up was. But anyway, so when he goes there to the door and stuff, I think that was Dakota Fanning. Was it Dakota Fanning? Yeah, and everything else like that. But
the redhead,
the mystery, like you just said, it was a good build up to is he going to find him dead or not? So then when he turns around, it's played by Bruce Dern. What are you doing, man? Like, she's gotta watch my sucky, whatever,
Trying to have a nap.
Yeah, so that was cool. But then when he comes out, then it's like, right? Like a Kung Fu movie, right? You got them all out there, but he only has to deal with one, which was the homeless redhead guy.
He popped his tire.
Which was easy to take.
And he was like, now this is my boss's car.
I know, right?
So now there's an issue. Luckily, he has a spare.
Talk about his swagger, though, man. His swagger was kind of like...
I knew shit was about to go down.
You're going to fix that.
It was like, fuck you. It's like,
and then he just right hooked him.
Oh, Jesus.
And there's blood in this film is really cool.
And then they say, go get Tex. And then they spend the time going to, catch up with Tex, and then for Tex to come back.
And he was already driving away.
Already gone, bro.
So I think we skipped over the Margot Robbie finally seeing herself in a Sharon Tate movie.
No, we haven't.
And is that next then? That's next, yeah. So we see Margot Robbie. She's finally...
With her feet out.
She's gotten a movie for... Oh, I play the clumsy waiter. And she's like this in the... I'm not going to do it because I'll break something. She's got her feet out.
Dirty feet.
Dirty feet.
So wait a minute. So, all right. You want to get to the feet. It's time for feet. So the girl...
Feet time. Do we have a button for
Baby
feet time?
Pussycat, whatever her name is. She already has her feet up on the...
Pressed against
dashboard.
the windscreen.
No. She had her feet on the dashboard.
Yeah, pressed against the windshield.
Oh, right. They were dirty and everything. I think the girls in the Spawn man's house...
Yeah, had their feet out. Yeah.
And now we get boots are made for walking first before we get to Margot's
some
dirty
more feet.
Because first of all, like as she's walking into those boots, she's not wearing socks.
Yeah, I think like that's part of the foot fetish is that they're sweaty and dirty.
Way too over the top. It was way too over the top in this movie.
Like,
but what do you think, Andrew? What do you think Tarantino was saying about her purchasing the book Tess of the D'Urbervilles?
I have no idea.
I think he just likes feet.
James?
Yes.
What do you think he was saying? All right. So you know that she was dating Polanski.
Polanski, yeah.
And Polanski was the guy in the flowers shirt, whatever, when they went out to party. When they went out
like
to party
director
with,
of Rosemary's Baby, Polanski.
Yeah, director of Yeah, but also, when she goes to purchase the book Tess of the D'Urbervilles, Tess is the movie that starred Natasha Kinski that Roman Polanski has been running away from America from because they want to arrest him for statutory rape because she was like, I don't know, 13, and everything like that. So supposedly they sneak him in. He directs the movie. They sneak him back out. It's like, wait a minute, hold on. How did we miss him?
Where did the pedophile go?
Yeah. Anyway,
Literally.
so for Tarantino to make a point, like, hey, all right, well, so Sharon was with Polanski at the time, but to make a point to have that scene of her going in and buying that book of Tess as like, oh, I need to find somebody for this Tess girl. Do you know what I'm saying?
Literally.
I think it's ingenious, really, because it's something that we know when when we're talking about the history around this film and everything.
Did she stay with him after
She died.
Oh, sweet.
but he didn't do. He wasn't with Natasha Kinski then. Later on, in the that was like around 78 or something like that he made that movie. But
she was pregnant, wasn't she?
Yeah, he survived because he was making a movie somewhere. It was those other people. That wasn't Roman Polanski.
Oh, okay.
Roman Polanski was the guy when they went to the party to see Steve McQueen. Right?
Oh yeah, they were in the Playboy Mansion and we didn't even say anything.
So they were in the Playboy Mansion with Mamas and the Papas and Steve McQueen does that whole Gold Watch
Damian
story.
Lewis was so good.
As Steve McQueen. I couldn't even recognize Damian Lewis, the guy from Billions. Right, it played Steve McQueen in that, and it was a great story that he tells in that one. It's beautiful. So anyway, now we're finally at the movie theater where she can't seem to afford 5 cents or whatever how much the pictures are.
To be fair,
she goes, "Can I get in for free? I'm in the movie." You know what? You're in the movie.
If I was in the
just
movie,
pay the money.
No, if I was in the movie, I would have said that. If I was like in that position.
Would you?
Yeah, I would have been like,
it's all going back to you and your shares in the film.
I mean, seriously, James.
Like,
I'm in Pringle, so can I come in for free?
I mean, if Pringle got screened anywhere, I think I'd leave.
I actually am screening Pringle somewhere.
No, you're not. No,
yeah.
don't screen Pringle anywhere.
That's not a joke.
Yeah, I know it's not. James is in Pringle. Anyway, so Margot watches herself, but I thought what was classic about that scene, because again, she's just like a silent film actress. You can read her emotions on her face, the zeal she has of watching herself for the first time in a way, or maybe just for a time in the theater. But we cut back to her, and she takes her shoes off, and we just see her dirty feet on the fucking seat. Now, first of all, that's disgusting. Because, first of all, to take your shoes off in a movie theater is disgusting because you never know what's on the floor.
Your dirty feet, though.
But then to put it on the seat where like people's heads are is more disgusting.
I don't care if you're Margot Robbie. Get your feet away right now.
Yeah, your feet should be used for strangling guards and getting keys and escaping.
Respect
facilities.
the cinema workers.
We've talked about Tarantino's foot fetish before. Why? I mean, why?
It's just a new way to objectify women.
No. I meant, why does he have it? I'm saying
many directors.
That's not why I bring it up.
Many directors like to have have quips in their movies. Some that says about him, some that adds personality.
Oh, you don't think it's his actual fetish?
I think in the beginning it is a fetish, but he's seen people lean into, oh, that's Tarantino. He's the film fuck guy. And I think
that's Dan Schneider.
And I think
yes, that's Dan Schneider. Exactly. Dan
Schneider.
My God!
Did you hear what he done once?
No, we're not talking about Dan Schneider.
No.
Not talking about it.
Okay, we're not done. Okay, I'll say later.
You just only have to reference.
No, it actually made me angry because it's just kind of like, right, so we've just gone out of this whole male gaze shit, but now we've got people with foot fetishes and there's nothing wrong with feet.
I don't think it's Tarantino showing off a fetish as it was in previous movies. This is more him playing towards his trope. I think it's more of a trope. It's like, for example, these actors, and I think for his last movie, what he's doing, that will have a lot of feet in it.
The movie.
No, I mean literally.
I don't. But
I'm doing
why
happy
though?
I'm doing happy feet.
And I can't wait for him to start his theatre career because.
Wait, he's going into theatre.
That's what he wants to do.
Next
Jesus Christ.
I have the novel of the Once Upon a Time Hollywood book I need to read. I think I still need to read that, but apparently it's really good. I want to know how he'll describe it. Margot Robbie puts feet on desk.
I don't know. But anyway, so like she goes to watch herself. And basically, what we just get is a lot of random shots of Margot. That's why we can jump around it. I mean, like there's a scene where she's snoring.
That's cool.
Well, no, I guess. Cool. I guess.
It's Margot Robbie snoring.
No, but that's what I mean. It's just kind of like, if I guess you're Tarantino, I'll do whatever you want. But it's just kind of like, yeah, I need you to snore, but it has to be real snore. No, real snore. Like, you know what I mean? But, just like how he went to really choke that woman in Glorious Bastards. Moving on. So anyway, he got the car back. Cliff got the car back. Margot sees the movie. And it's at this point in time that we cut to him going off to Italy because we gotta go off to Italy for 6 months. Maybe he's on the run. Maybe Cliff's on the run. Who knows?
He makes a lot of spaghetti westerns.
He makes at least 3 of them, because he shows us the posters.
Gets a wife.
That's kind of like
Jay gets a wife. No, that's pretty.
That's kind of like what Clint Eastwood did. He made like 3 films and probably picked up somebody over there too. But yeah, he picked up like she was like the daughter of one of the producers. You know what I mean, and stuff like that. So then they come back, and then they have the awkward conversation that I don't know what to do with you, bruv. I mean, you know what I mean? And then what is Leo saying to him, really? Because isn't he famous now? I mean, like, isn't he got a career over there? But now he's feeling that he can't. I didn't understand that scene. He's feeling that I can't. I think he was mainly saying, because I got a wife, right? I don't really.
Didn't he say something about going back to Cincinnati or something?
Yeah. I think so. But I mean, like, because he's got a career, but maybe he's just like, look, I'm home. Got a wife, can't really have like just take me
vibing in my house.
Yeah,
Their relationship was so toxic. Weird.
Did you think so though?
I thought it was so. I mean, like, I get they were mates and whatever, but there was always kind of like this thing where like you obviously know that like Leo's like the dominant one of the pair of them, but then like
it was a toxic
Brad's more of the badass.
Well, wait a minute, why you say toxic though?
Because the way they act. Because for example, Brad's character could easily get out of that the way he is, if anything ever happened. But Leonardo DiCaprio, like, he's codependent on him. They need space. It's like, I've seen situations like this in real life, and it's a very toxic.
They both need each other, though. Because
but it's like,
nobody's hiring Cliff because of the wife murder thing, right? And so Leo is like, he's beyond that.
But so that still doesn't give him the right to step on Brad Pitt's character.
Yeah, but Brad is like, look, I want to do something, so I'll do your cleaning, I'll do your like mechanics, I'll do your driving.
It's a toxic, codependent relationship.
Okay, I don't know, but
one cannot exist without the other.
What about you, Sinead? You think it was a bad relationship as well?
It was just a weird one. It was kind of like what even if like this is a has-been like stuntable. Why does he still feel the need to like run around and do errands for the actor and stuff like that? Is he paying it? He's not even paying him or anything.
Oh no, he's paying him.
Is he paying him? Oh,
yeah, but that's why he told. No, that's why he told him I can't afford to have you around anymore. So he was paying him to do all those. And he was
jobs. But it was the fact he was just like, okay.
Yeah, well, because I mean, pride. He had his pride and everything like that. But I thought that when they sat down to watch the FBI show. Right, that also gave you an insight into their relationship because it's like, even though like I'm your sidekick, I know I'm your sidekick, I'm your listening board, I'm your driver and everything, but I'm also your friend and everything. And then so it's like they were chilling, sitting down
with an acid cigarette,
and then which was another great old show and everything where he plays another bad guy and stuff, But this leads us to the final sequence of the Manson kids decided.
And what the hell was that about?
About it is,
and why was one of them Asian if they were all... Wait, are they like an actual biological family or are they just...
No.
Oh, is that a cult? Never mind then.
But what it was that because we got that scene where, you probably missed it, but where Manson came to the house where...
and then Leo sends him away.
No. Charles Manson actually came to Margot Robbie's house.
He walks past to say, ma'am.
Oh. Yeah, but no, he comes up to the door because if you've seen one of the biographies, right, the Beach Boys lived in that house, right? One of the Beach Boys lived in that house that Margot character Sharon Tate took over. So when he came looking for Danny, whatever, the guy from the Beach Boys. She said, "Oh, they don't live here anymore." Oh, wow. you know, and everything like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
So he goes off. But like what had happened is that he said, look, I just want to scare them because they used to be able to chill in the house. So the Manson family initially in the original reality, they were supposed to just go there, scare them, and helter skelter and all that.
Make it witchy.
But then you had 2 pregnant women in there. And they kill them and so you know the murders and stuff. So as they going up to that house, it just so happens that Cliff, who they ran into at Spawn Ranch, right, who they didn't see because he's out walking the dog. They run into Leo, who's like, get the fuck off my lawn. Now, that's the only thing that I ain't kind of like buy into is like, he's yelling at them. They got their knives and weapons, and like, they're just letting him do that.
Yeah, they just back
they
off,
know they're
don't
going
they?
to do some
Because
damage.
they didn't want to bring suspicion yet.
Yeah, mine
Or
was
maybe
text
they
crying.
just like, I could make girls, you know, but I'm afraid of God. I'm afraid of you. All right, dude, we out. You know what I mean?
It was margarita
I just
mix.
thought that was weird. Yeah, I just thought that was kind of weird.
With his margarita mix. What
So
an
they go
icon.
back down the hill. Now, supposedly the girl who left, that happened in the original reality as well and stuff. You know, one of the people didn't want to do it and stuff. So then they continue to go up, but they decide, nah, I'm not going to go here. We're going to go to this motherfucker who just yelled at us. You know, so now we have revisionist history, and this is Tarantino. What do you think about revisionism?
It depends what it is. I mean, like, for this film especially, because I didn't really know much about the Manson murder. I've heard of them.
Yeah.
But say, because they now decide not to do that, it suddenly made that whole side story completely pointless. As a film, it just made no sense anymore, because it was like, why do you keep cutting away to this person who has no connection to the story whatsoever?
Yeah. Oh, was she supposed to... Wait, was Margot Robbie in real life supposed to die because of the... Oh, okay, now it makes sense.
It does make sense because what we did was we had gotten like the private profile of Sharon Tate that we didn't know. So he's making all of that stuff up, even though he's dealing with the family and everything like that.
Like when he killed
Of her
Hitler in
loving the movie
Inglourious.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
He's making all that stuff. So the idea is like there should be a world where she survives because he liked her, whatever, blah blah blah, and everything. So these guys, these actors, become like real life heroes and stuff like that. So mentality of Tarantino.
They break in, and the fucking slaughter ensues.
Now this
Oh
I
my
don't
God.
agree. This I don't agree with at all.
The ending.
The slaughter of the ending, because
I
I would like to respect Tarantino as a filmmaker, even if he has a foot fetish. But I'm not into gore porn. I'm not into torture porn. I
hope
don't
not.
like the.
Not into porn.
Well, I didn't say that, but I don't like hostile movies and everything like that.
Yeah. Oh, Hostel's a great movie. We should do that.
But my point is, the violence to these women, that's Tarantino. And, you know, and Brad had to do it. You know what I mean? And I just didn't agree with that at all. It was
Yeah, but in real life,
ultra violent. It
Manson
was
did...
worse than Clockwork Orange violence.
Yeah, but then, like, isn't it kind of like they died in this film because the 2 pregnant women died in real life kind of thing? Well, there you go then.
I do like.
Well, it's kind of like saying that
like-
these were vicious women, so they deserve it.
I like
saying
it.
that.
I think the ending felt a bit perfect to what Tarantino's style is and what could have happened in a revisionist style. Not them being murdered, Sharon Tate, but the murderers being murdered. And I think the reason why I'm not
Violently.
the reason why I'm not so asked about this violence is because I'm like desensitized to movie violence because it's not real. You know what I mean? Like, no one really thinks movie violence is real. I don't go and watch Saw and think, oh my God, that's real. But
Dude, when you see a person get their head bashed in, I go like this. Right? I feel it.
I'm very
viscerally.
desensitized to violence in
as
general.
am I.
All right. Are you desensitized to violence?
Yeah, completely.
Really?
very-
How about you, Andrew?
Depends what it is.
I don't know. I weep for the children if you guys both feel this way. I don't. I grew up watching horror films and I was way too young, so I'm hypersensitive to horror. So I understand that I'm hypersensitive. But a girl getting her head bashed into a mantelpiece, you know, and all that other kind of stuff. I don't mind the girl getting burned in a pool. That was kinda
funny.
That was cool.
Now,
I grew up with the internet, so
okay, all right. Well, your opinions, we would welcome them. But like the pool scene
That was cool.
reminded me of a film called Trilogy of Terror with Karen Black. And she was being attacked by a little black pygmy doll and everything. And, you know, she would have to, you know, try to burn it. And the pygmy doll was like, like that, going on
Can
crazy.
we clip that?
But that... Probably.
It's like one of the
But that's
gremlins.
what the girl was doing, though, in the pool. I mean, look, you're dead, woman. You're dead.
No, she's
but then she's like,
squealing and swinging her knife about.
The one piece of violence what got me was when they started bashing her head against the
I know,
log. I was
man,
like,
and you
ugh.
seemed all right with it.
I love how the dog just was like, it was just like,
Wait. Yeah, all right. One of my stories, I know a guy who had a midriff bitten by a dog. Anyway, so like, that's painful.
I think the moral of the story is don't smoke acid cigarettes.
I love it how he was like, oh wow, what is that, dude?
No one that high.
He was like Spicoli.
No one that high and no one that drunk could fight like that.
Oh, dude.
If I was drunk, I'd be like,
He's Cliff.
You didn't think it was real?
He's Cliff, man.
he's Cliff.
And everything like that. So Leonardo pulls out the flamethrower that we were established and everything, burns the girl. Cliff like kills the other two along with the dog and everything like that. Gets shot, but you know, hey, look, only a flesh wound.
No, it was stabbed in the leg, wasn't it?
Yeah, but he also
I think he got shot as well.
Oh, I thought he was shot.
No, he didn't get shot.
Oh, come on! They taking him to hospital just from a
Somebody
stab wound in the leg?
shot, but I don't think it hits anyone.
Huh.
Also, why was Tex crying? Like,
You just found out he's been cast as Elvis.
ooh, heavy.
When
No, because when they first enter the house, right, the girls come in from the side and then he comes through the door with the gun and he just starts crying. And I'm like, is this supposed to be like, you know, you being like psychotic? It's like, finally, someone's going to die at the hands of me. I'm doing Satan's work or whatever. Or are you actually like terrified of this situation? I was really confused.
did he see like you know,
laughing,
right in
wasn't
front of him?
Was it? No, he had tears in his eyes. He was crying, and I was just like, "This is either some really like deep shit, or like you haven't read the memo."
It could have been a crisis of conscience in the sense where, like, you know, as if they were at the Sharon Tate Lobianco house. There was a TV series with David Mulder from X-Files as called Aquarius, where they did this whole bit, you know, and I thought that Tex was really conflicted in that show, and so maybe this Tex was supposed to be a form of confliction until he saw Brad Pitt. Then it was kind of like, oh, you that motherfucker. Right?
Literally.
You know what I mean? So I think maybe, I don't know. Anyway, so they survive.
Sharon Tate comes out.
Brad and goes off to the ambulance, but then the boyfriend, who, as Steve McQueen would say, Damian Lewis, was like, he's just biding his time to get with Sharon and stuff like that, because they were supposed to be together and then together. Anyway, so Leo enters the house. Now this is kind of cool in a way, because Hollywood is like that. You know, you got the Hollywood Hills with all these famous people, right? But they're behind locked gates. So even though you're famous and they're famous, you never meet each other. So this was kind of like a weird way to be invited into the house. You know, because he did like Sharon or Roman Polanski and all that other kind of stuff. But he probably never felt good enough that, hey, I'm a TV actor and stuff. So, you know, so then when they go in, and, you know, and then they meet, and we got the new future and stuff. And that was Tarantino's Once Upon a Time.
It does kind of make you feel sad thinking that the actual Sharon Tate died.
It does. It does. Because, like, in letting us know about her through his imaginations or whatever, no one deserves to die, James. Really. And I think it shows like the pointlessness of murder. And it shows like the sadness of the loss of somebody who does get just tragically murdered, because basically she was a news item. She wasn't a famous actress, you know what I mean? But the only way it was a news item was because there was 4 of them dead and 2 of them pregnant or whatever and all that other kind of stuff.
It was such a media story as well.
Exactly. That's what I mean. It became a news item because of that. But she wasn't a news item because she was Sharon Tate, the actress in that crappy movie, The Wrecking Crew. You know what I mean?
It's because
so
I think that was a good take on it. I think that's gonna be that could be one of my new takes. That now the uselessness of violence.
Ooh.
I think that's a good take for what you said before.
Yeah. Well,
I really enjoy.
Would you take away from him quickly?
I think I've taken away from that is how the violence has affected everyone, and how a peaceful resolution could have been solved for that. But it's Tarantino, so it's either that or he just loves his violence.
Not gonna make that movie.
Yeah.
James Jump will make this version of this movie.
I could give me 10 minutes, a few Freddos, and I could make easily a better movie.
A few Freddos.
So overall, what does everyone think about this movie?
I loved it because, like, when I saw it in the pictures, as I do in most of movies, is that it didn't thrill me. It's 3 hours long, and it didn't hold my interest. But when I saw it like about a month or so ago, I just devoured all the background interviews and stories around it, and I completely love this movie. It's and I hate that sometimes that movies just need to be watched after the hype. So it's a good movie. It's about a 9 to me.
I think for me the movie is it explores more stuff that Tarantino hasn't really explored. I love the narrative of it. I think every little bit like Easter egg in there, like every little bit, it just felt really cozy together. I remember the first time seeing it, I saw the first half an hour in cinemas, then got kicked out because I was 16. But when I rewatched it like 2-3 times after, I appreciated it even more. And when I rewatched it last night, I appreciated it even more. So for me, it's a 9.5. Probably my second favorite Tarantino movie. I don't think anything will top that one.
Hateful Eight, man.
My favorite one's Django Unchained. Hateful Eight's third.
Both of them good movies. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think with Tarantino movies, I think context is everything. Because I did not realise that, like, that was supposed to be like, oh, it's the Manson murders. I didn't
really.
I knew who Polanski was. I didn't know his wife had anything to do with that. I didn't. I'm not familiar with American history or anything like that. But like having known that, it's like, oh, that's made the film like cooler and things make sense in it now for me. Yeah. So I did enjoy it, and I like how Tarantino puts like a random spin on actual history. Yeah. To make a point. For me, I'd say, but like you said, like it's a 3 hour long film, and like there's not much going on really.
There's a lot going on.
I mean, what goes on is like contextual, not like I'm not thrilled by in particular. Apart from that scene where he goes to the hippie hole, like nothing really like. It was very much like, oh, I'm invested. Like I was really disappointed with Leo, to be honest.
So you didn't like all the film stuff, even like being on set of old ways of filming.
Well, like westerns don't really appeal to me, to be honest. Like they're cute, like in context, but like they don't entertain me in any way, shape, or form.
That's interesting because it could be your use as well. Because I mean, like I said, growing up on westerns, but then
I mean, my favorite western is Blazing Saddles. Let's be honest.
So, which is available now on our channel.
I mean, give it an ace because I know it tried, but like for like in the moment watching it, it was just very much like I don't know what's going on.
So you can appreciate the style, but not like it personally.
Yeah, I appreciate the message, just not the execution. I'll still give it an 8 though.
Yeah, similar thing. Like I couldn't get into this movie. I tried, but I just couldn't keep focused on it. I just kept. The direction for it is good. I think it's shot really well. I think the music choices are great. I think the acting's phenomenal, but it needed to be trimmed down. I think there was way too much going on. I just couldn't get into it, so I'd say like a 6 or so.
Wow. I mean, and I mean, it's fair dues, man. I mean, it's Tarantino going out on the high. His latest movies are longer and longer, but it's also, like James said, that they're getting better and better, which is why the disappointment will be when he stops.
I think they've always been great with the movies he's done, but it depends on what your genre is. If you like a more narrative-based, more like talking for 4 hours like me, with a little bit of action, then that movie's perfect. But
to be honest, it'll be great in theatre because theatre is just talking.
Talk shop.
If you love, for example, you want like a whodunit murder every 10 seconds, then you watch Reservoir Dogs. If you want something historical, you watch Django Unchained or something. And I think that's what the great thing about Tarantino's catalogue is. As much as people like say, "Oh, you like Tarantino," he is a great director.
Yeah. Well, before we go, I know, we got that finger going, but before we go, 10 film genre. Just pick a genre, just so that way we look back on this.
A what?
And a genre, like what is going to be his 10th film? Like the genre. What's the genre going to be?
Genre.
Genre. Anyway, right? So that way when we look back on this and the 10th film comes out, we can figure out like who selected it. So I'm gonna go for what it's not going to be, but what I would like him to do, and that's a superhero film.
I think would be cool to see a sci-fi film.
A Tarantino sci-fi.
Yeah, I think.
I can't even nail him on a genre, to be honest.
Medieval or
maybe, yeah, something like that.
Medieval Tarantino. Wow.
What about horror Tarantino? I like horror.
You know what? He hasn't really done that, has he?
Like considering
his films are horrifying.
That's what I mean. Like it'd be so weird to see like especially if he like picked like I don't know a serial killer or something to base it off. Like I feel like he could
like
really.
Gun, yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like he could really do something.
Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think?
Ahead.
I reckon it's most likely to be a sci-fi with the way that especially the way that he talks in interviews, and he's still got like that Star Trek movie.
Yeah, he's still got the Star Trek movie, but they never seem to talk about that as the 10th and everything. So if he does it, it would be Star Trek for television.
The 9th movie, this one, I don't understand it at all. Like,
because
looking
Kill
at his
Bill,
credits,
he considers them as 2 movies.
Yeah, but he's done things like Grindhouse, and he helped out on From Dusk Till Dawn, and there's all these other films.
Yeah, as a producer and writer, and Grindhouse, I think he considers Death Proof as one of the numbers.
I reckon he should do a Kill Bill 3, but not do it as a 10th movie.
He is talking about that.
And isn't he thinking about casting Zendaya as the daughter of the one who got murdered? You had in the beginning in the house scene where she goes and kills.
Yeah. But I mean, like, when I heard him talking about it recently with Joe Rogan, is he's talking about bringing back the bride, and I don't think he'll never work with Uma Thurman again.
Why?
Because of what he did to her on that film. But yeah,
what did he do to her?
Crashed her in that car.
James seems to know everything that goes on behind the scenes, but he doesn't know this.
I don't know why you don't know that. Everybody does. But anyway, so we got 4 different concepts for Tarantino. Wishing him luck on his 10th film and his journey and everything.
Let's hope you
enjoyed. Hopefully you enjoyed. You won't. Hopefully you enjoyed.
Please like and subscribe.
I've been changed.
Please, God, just. Tracy needs to go and lie down now.
Any suggestions for films? Put them down in the comments and we'll try and get through them as soon as we can.
Subscribe.
And end this one on feet.